Hi everyone, my name's Courtney. I write under the pen names Lyra Parish and I'm one half of the USA Today best-selling duo Kennedy Fox, and today is Q&A Monday. I actually went to the park today and recorded this video. And the wind was blowing so bad that it ruined all of my audio on it. And since I want to stay on schedule, you're getting an office video. I apologize. Think now that it's going into the fall, winter months, I know that the weather is not going to be great to record outside. So more than likely, I will just start recording back in my office because it's easier. I can control the wind, I can control the sound, I can control the lighting. And after I spent all that time today, I just don't want to have to go through that again. So anyway, hi! I'm so happy y'all are here. It's Q&A Monday and we are moving to the Instagram questions. I know for a fact that I will be able to get through all of them because I've already done it once. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started with those. Without further ado, the Instagram Q&A. The first question comes from Sapphire Cloud and she says, biggest pet peeve when reading or writing? So one of my pet peeves, or maybe it's just one of my hates, is I do not like more than 2 or 3 point of views in a book. I don't like books that have like 6, 8, 10 point of views. I've read a few this year thinking that maybe my tastes have changed and I can't handle it. If I get to reading a book and I realize there are more than 3 point of views, I'm just gonna quit. As far as writing, one of my biggest pet peeves is starting a bunch of sentences with pronouns. He said this, he blah 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 blah, she blah 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 blah, they blah 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 blah. I cannot stand that, and so I try to avoid it at all costs. But other than that, I don't know of a pet peeve that I have with myself when I'm writing. The next question is, will you ever do formatting videos with Vellum? Absolutely. It's been on my list for a little while. Vellum recently got updated within the last few months, and I know that I just updated last week, and so there's some more options that weren't originally there, so I kind of want to play with those. So then I have updated info, but I don't know when I'll be able to get to that because at the moment I don't have any books to format and I need a little bit of time to play with it, and I am currently in the writing cave and will be moving to editing hell very soon. But yes, I will do some Vellum videos because I'm a huge proponent of that. I think it's a great application. It's $199. You get to format unlimited amounts of books in ebook and paperback. It's a really great tool to have in your self-publisher's toolbox. 100% recommend. Bethany asks, how do you feel about authors who genre hop to romance just to make a quick buck? I really don't have an opinion about it. I know that there are a lot of people who do it. I know that there are scammers out there who teach people courses on how to hire ghostwriters to write shitty romance. But the thing is like, I try to stay in my own lane. I don't really care what anybody else is doing. I think it's really easy for people to see dollar signs and discredit romance readers. The people who read romance books, they read a lot of romance books. So they know if you are just trying to like make a quick buck, or if you're just trying to like throw something out there to see if you can make money, or if you really enjoy writing in the genre. When you're passionate about it, it seems to come through with your words. If you're forcing yourself to write in a genre that you don't really like just so you can make a quick dollar, then I mean, that's your own business. It's true that you can make a lot of money writing romance, but good romance. And you can't just write a book and put it out there and make money. You still have to do all the work that goes with it. So to each their own. I'm not gonna hate on someone who wants to try something different because I know that you're still gonna have to put the work into it. And if it's not a good book and it's just something that's thrown together, then readers are gonna know and they're not gonna buy their books anymore. So you really have to be committed to it. The next one comes from Morgan and it says, how do you tap into creativity when you feel like a failure? This is really hard, and I know that you're not alone. I think every single person, myself included, has felt like a failure at some point during their career. And it's fleeting. It comes and goes, just like success comes and goes. What really helps me when I'm feeling down like that, or I'm like beating myself up, I go back to my why. I go back to the reason why I started writing in the first place. I started writing because I wanted that creative outlet. No matter how many books I sell or how many reviews the book gets or whatever happens, as long as I'm continuing to write, I still have that creative outlet. I'm also one of those people who really likes to watch motivational videos. I'm super nerdy. I don't think many of you know just how big of a nerd that I am. But there's a lot of them on YouTube, and it talks about like not giving up and like pushing forward, and got all those cliche quotes of "it may rain one day but the sun will come out tomorrow" type things. And when I listen to stuff like that, I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm not a failure. I'm just in a rut. I'm just in a bad place, but you know what? I can get out of that. And it usually inspires me. Also, I have friends who are really good at talking me off the ledge, who pump me up, who give me those positive reinforcements. I started journaling a lot, and it really helps me work out my own issues. People always ask, well, what do you put in your bullet journal? How are you filling them up every 6 months? And it's because I journal a lot. I have brain dumps at least a few times a week where I just talk about everything that's on my mind and why I feel certain ways. Think about your why, have some brain dump sessions. I like to do them right after I wake up. First thing I do, I don't even make coffee. I will just sit there and I'll write like 5 pages worth of all of my thoughts. And after a while, I realize that I'm writing the same things over and over. Eventually you work through that feeling because it goes away. Start a new project that you're really excited about. Something that you've been wanting to do for a long time. Just start it and see how you feel afterward. I also like to make small goals that I know that I can accomplish. So when I do accomplish them, I don't feel like a failure so much. If you're trying to finish a book and you can't be creative, just tell yourself, today I'm gonna write 500 words. That's it. 500 words, I'm gonna do that today. And it may take you 2 hours, it may take you 3 hours, and you're just gonna have to work through it. And that's all I can really say. I've been there, I've felt like a failure more times than not. It just happens. I think that makes us human. That makes us aware of the things that we're doing and where we wanna be. And if you keep pushing, then eventually you'll get there. I'm really sorry that you feel that way. I get it, I understand 100%. Dean Chris asks, where do you see yourself in the next 6 months? I hope that I'm happy. I hope that nothing happens that just throws me completely off. You know, the last year has been crazy for me. Anything can happen in 6 months. I mean, I hope that Kennedy Fox is still doing well. I hope that we're beating sales records. I hope that I am more settled in being a full-time author and have a real schedule as far as what goes on during the day. And I hope that we're ahead with writing, because 6 months from now is May, and I hope coronavirus isn't a thing. I just hope that life gets back to normal and all of this stuff that happened in 2020 is a thing of the past, and we can all move forward with our lives. That's where I'd like to imagine myself being in 6 months. Fiction Beer and Cupcakes asks, what is your newest Starbucks favorite drink? Okay, so I am currently eating low carb, and before I started watching my sugar intake, I was really in love with the pumpkin cream cold brew. It was so good. But now that I am kind of watching what I'm eating because I want to get to my goal weight, I have been in love with my old fave, the nitro cold brew with sweet cream. And also I will sometimes get 4 shots of espresso with 3 packets of stevia and a splash of heavy whipping cream. I know it's a lot of espresso, but typically I need it and I drink it and I love it. So yeah, that's the 2 drinks that are typically my go-to. I've been just keeping it really simple at Starbucks just because I don't need to drink 100 grams of sugar. That's just crazy town. Meredith Phillips asks, is there any aspect of your 9 to 5 you miss? Do you have a hard time sticking to a daily routine? What I miss about my 9 to 5 is actually getting in my car and driving somewhere and having like an office space where I've got to be there for a certain set amount of time. Because when I was at work, nothing could distract me while I was there. And now that I'm home, there are distractions all over the place. With that being said, that's probably the only thing that I miss. Now that I am home, I still have the same writing schedule as I had when I was working full-time, which means at 9 p.m. I am like, I'm gonna start writing at 9 p.m. That's always the goal. During the day, I've started to do edits and stuff like that, or do social media or whatever the case is. I am still trying to figure out my own personal schedule. I know that it's been 8 months at this point, but I feel like I'm starting to get settled with that. that, and I think that it'll get easier as more time passes by. I don't really have a hard time sticking to a routine, and that's just because while I was working the last decade, I wrote every night at 9 p.m. So it's a habit for me that I can't seem to break. I would love to be able to wake up in the morning and write 5,000 words, but I am just not a daytime writer. I've tried. I can't. It's not hard for me to stick to a routine because we have deadlines, because we have all of our books up for pre-order. There is no room for mistakes. Like, we have to have books to the editor when the editor needs them, or we don't release on time. And if we lose all those pre-orders, it would be financially devastating, and we would lose our pre-order for a year on Amazon. So I don't have an issue with it because we have pre-orders up so far out in advance that I know what I need to be doing. Kay Ellie asks, how do you get your characters to talk to you? I'm struggling. Typically, I find that happens to me when I have not outlined. Not to say that outlining is like the best method. Y'all know that I don't believe that. I think that everyone should write the way that works for them. I know people who have made New York Times and they've never outlined a book in their life. It's typically because you're stuck with your plot and you don't know where to go next. So what I learned back in the day when I was pantsing my way through books, I learned that if I skipped the part that I was having issues with and moved further ahead into the plot to a part that I knew was going to happen, then I could always go back in and fill in. And that made it easier for me because it was typically like 2 chapters that would just kind of mess me up. Take a long bath. My writing partner, when she takes baths, she will come out of the tub with like a full outline for a book. I wish I was joking. I'm totally not. One thing that really helped me when I was kind of new and I was struggling was to listen to instrumentals, movie soundtracks. I'm telling you, Pandora has the best list. And for some reason, I don't know what it was, but it would spark my creativity and it would just be like, aha, light bulb moment, I've got it. So try those things or take a break. I mean, maybe you're burnt out. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I hope you work through it and your characters start talking to you really soon. Leah Copeland asks, do you keep yourself on a timeline, deadlines when writing novels? Absolutely. We've got pre-orders set up a year in advance, and I plan out every single week what chapters I'm going to be writing on what day, and if for some reason I don't finish it, I adjust my schedule. I'm very, very anal with timelines and deadlines. I do not like to be behind. I do not like to keep work waiting on me. Like, I want to be finished. I want to have everything done. I don't want our editor to have to rush. And so it's one of the things that keeps me moving forward. And I plan everything, probably to a level of OCD, but I seriously plan every single thing. Vanessa asks, what's your favorite genre to read? In 2020, I've learned that I really enjoy contemporary fiction. I don't know what it is. I just really enjoy it. And it's not a genre that I ever have read before, but I swear this year that's all I've seemed to have read. I do like thrillers, the whodunit aspect. I like to think that it was this person that killed that person, but really it was this other person. Like, I really love that. And I love paranormal romance, but I haven't read a lot of that recently. But yeah, contemporary has been my jam lately. I love it. I really do. Carolyn asks, how do you personally juggle real life responsibilities with author ones? I plan out everything. I'm not kidding. I know on Tuesdays and Thursdays I'm seeing my dad. I know on Tuesdays I'm probably not getting home till 7 p.m. So I'm probably only going to be able to write 1 chapter because I'm going to be exhausted mentally and physically from all the stuff I do on Tuesdays. My life is pretty settled at this point, and if something changes or if there's like this last minute thing that I have to do, I make it happen, but I try my very best to stay on schedule with my writing. It's not always easy because things happen that are out of your control, but you're needed to kind of like solve those issues or whatever the case is. And I just roll with the punches. You have to be kind to yourself. You have to realize that you can't control every situation and you just have to do your very best. I take life day by day, and if it's a good day, I'm grateful and I'm like, yes, today was a good day. Hopefully tomorrow when I wake up, it will be a good day too. And so you just gotta take it one thing at a time and schedule your writing stuff and get back on track when something kind of like interrupts your time. Vanessa asks, tips on how to do what you've planned to do instead of procrastinating. Download the Forest app on your phone, turn on deep focus mode and plant some trees because your phone, this baby right here, is a distraction. There is also apps that you can get on Windows and Mac that will just lock everything on your computer except for the application that you're writing on. Also, I found that if you schedule your time and you say, for this 20 minutes, I'm gonna do nothing but write in short spurts, it's much easier to stay focused. There's a lot of people out there who are like, I am going to write for the next 5 hours. And I just don't know how that is actually possible to write for that long unless you are live sprinting, because I get easily distracted. I can't sit there for that long. I've got to get up and walk around or get some water or walk outside or check the mail or, oh my gosh, the dishes need to be done. You know, there's always that outside distraction. Turn off everything. If you have Scrivener or Word, turn off your Wi-Fi and commit to writing for that 20 minutes. And then once you're done, get up, let procrastination take over, and then plan another 20 minutes. You will be surprised how much you'll be able to get done in those little 20-minute spurts with absolutely no distractions. As always, if any of y'all have any suggestions for getting rid of procrastination, leave them down below. Next question came from Jay Britt, and it says, how long did you work your corporate job and write at the same time? I was hired at my corporate job in 2009, and I started writing religiously in 2011. It was 9 years of writing and working at my corporate job. 9 years, almost a full decade. And that's the reason why I can't break my habit of writing at 9 p.m. every night, because I did it for nearly a decade. So crazy to think that I did that for that long. I learned a lot about myself. I learned my strengths and weaknesses. I learned what exhausted me and what didn't. I learned how I reacted to stress. It was a super long time. Camillan asks, what's your favorite thing about writing romance? And to me, I would say the love story aspect. I love a good love story, and I love happily ever afters. My favorite part is having this broken character who has to fight for love. With romance, the stated theme is always love conquers all. And there's typically other things as well. All romance books have a happily ever after or a happy for now. And I love just bringing those characters through the pits of hell to get their happily ever after. They have the life, they've got love, and that's pretty much all they need. And that's my favorite part about writing romance. Also, our readers are amazing and they read a lot. Me and Brooke will never be able to provide the amount of romance books that our readers want. There's no way. We could literally publish 12 books a year and it still won't be enough. I would be willing to argue that romance readers are the best readers in the world because they do read so much, but you know, I'm sure every author says that about their audience and their readers and their super fans. Love a love story. And I love our readers. One of my longtime friends and coworkers asked if I missed my old job yet. And there are times when I kind of do miss it. Not necessarily like miss what I was doing, but miss the people that I work with. And it's because I worked there for a decade. I was there for 10 years of my life and I grew up with a lot of those people. I was in my mid-20s when I got that job and now I'm in my mid-30s. I watched people's kids grow up. We experienced loss together. You know, we were a family and I saw many of those people more than I saw my own family. And now it's kind of like I don't see any of them anymore and I'm not a part of their life anymore. And that's the part that I miss the most. I don't miss the stress. I don't miss working for a corporation where men ruled. I don't miss dealing with all the egotistical personalities. I don't miss any of that, but I do miss the people I work with. And some of them I still keep in touch with, but it'll never be the same as me seeing them every single day for 10 years, drinking coffee with them in the break room, or, you know, talking crap about the leaders of the company who just thought they were everything when really they weren't. That's the stuff that I'll miss the most. If I had to choose, I am much happier writing full-time, doing my own thing, being on my own schedule, staying up as late as I want, waking up as early as I want. I am no longer exhausted and I feel like I was in a perpetual state of exhaustion for the last 9 years, if I'm being completely honest, but I don't have that anymore. Like, I get enough sleep, and let me tell you, you become a much happier person when you get the proper hours of sleep. Life isn't so bad. I'm well rested. Of course, I still get anxious and I still get stressed out, but it's not the same as when you have people waiting for you to mess up. and waiting to call you out. I'm not always on the defense. I don't have to be on the defense. I don't have anybody who's gonna yell at me or treat me like crap or degrade me or put me in my place or tell me I need to respect their title or any of those things, all which really did happen in my life. I don't have to deal with that anymore, and I'm a much happier person for it. I'm living the dream, and it still doesn't feel real to me. So yes, I miss a lot of you. I really do. But I don't miss the BS. Not at all. Not at all. I'm good. Y'all could keep all that. Totally good. Puka Junebug asks, how long does it take you to usually write a book? And I can tell you that I have a writing partner. Everybody knows that. Recently, I timed how long it took me to write a book and how long it took me to edit a book. And I write half of it. Our average book length is around 80,000. To write 40,000 words, it takes me about 100 to 125 hours. I used to tell people days, but then I realized that it made it seem like I wasn't working as hard. When it comes to editing 80,000 words, it takes me about 225 to 250 hours. And that's reading the book from beginning to end and adding self-edit. Hopefully that answers your question. Jana Chantel and Terralyn also asked kind of the same question. Jana's is, how do you handle to understand marketing? And Terralyn asked me, what's your advice for learning marketing? Any classes you'd recommend? This video will be posted before my other video that's scheduled for Wednesday. Look at me being ahead. So the thing is with these Q&As, it's very hard to go through exact details with marketing, and I said that on October 19th. I understand that, and there's no way that I'm going to be able to put it in this video. I learned marketing from a lot of trial and error, lots of money wasted, and a lot of mistakes. That's the truth. It's not something that you're gonna learn overnight. I don't know if a course could actually teach you every little thing that you need to know about marketing, because some things you have to test for yourself and your own brand. There are the basics, there is a foundation, there is a checklist that we use essentially every single time of things that me and Brooke have always done. And so I have decided, because of this, I'm going to create a marketing series, which y'all will hear me talk about this again on Wednesday's video. I'm gonna go through it all. I'm gonna give you all the details. We're gonna do real life market research for different genres on Amazon. We're gonna compare covers. We're gonna do hashtag research. We're gonna talk about keywords. We're gonna talk about marketing plans and how you create one. We're gonna talk about all the stuff. I have tried to realistically put a list of videos together, and at this point, it may take me an entire year to get through all the marketing. And marketing is my thing. It's one of the things that I love the most. I'm very data driven, and that could be because of my accounting business background, but I like data and I like proof that something works, and I like to research a lot. I like to test things a lot. We're gonna start from the very basics. I know most of you out there probably already know the stuff that I'm going to talk about at the beginning, but then we're going to move to a more advanced level. I know that I'm going to announce that later this week or whatever, but because I get so many of these marketing questions, I think it was important to go ahead and say that now in this video. And so then when you watch the one that is already scheduled, yay! You will kind of already know what's being planned. Guys, marketing can make or break a book. It can make or break a release. It can make you a lot of money. I mean, we have months where we've made over $70,000 because we're really good at marketing. And I understand that there are two of us. I understand that me and Brooke split everything. Anything that our brand does, we have a discussion about it beforehand. This isn't like I'm changing this cover, or I'm doing that, or I'm doing this, or blah, blah, blah. Everything that we do for our brand, there's a discussion about it because we're a partnership. We work together, and yes, there are two of us, which means we can do double the marketing, and we've got double the ideas, and we've got double the money that we can spend on making sure that we are making a lot of money. And I know that I just threw a number out there that some people are gonna be like, oh my God, they made $70,000. I'm gonna tell you this right now. People will be like, oh, but how much did they spend to make that plus 70,000? And I can tell you that our expenses on that $70,000 was about 8%. So I'm telling you that because I'm not here to BS you about marketing. I tell you numbers like that not to brag, not to be like, oh, look what we did. That's to say, hey, look what we did. You can do this too, but you have to learn how to market your books. And it's not going to be something that happens overnight. And you may watch every single one of my videos about marketing and you still may not get it. And you might have to start from the very beginning. Usually when your books are not selling, you are missing some key point. You are missing something with your blurb, with your book cover. The book may not be good. You might have a crappy title. You might not be competitive in the market. You might not be reaching the correct readers. You might be missing a crucial part somewhere. And we're gonna go through all of it. We're gonna go through all of it. Me and Brooke are very good at marketing, and that's why our first 4 books made USA Today. We haven't made USA Today in a while. You all know that we were in Kindle Unlimited for a good year and a half, and it's nearly impossible to make USA Today when you're in KU. We are still trying to rebuild what we lost when we joined Kindle Unlimited. I know that we will eventually make USA Today again, and I can't wait to share that experience with you all. It's just we have to rebuild what we lost. We lost a lot of readers when we went to Kindle Unlimited. We ranked very well on Apple. We are getting back to where we used to be, but we're still not there yet because Kindle Unlimited put us behind by 18 months. And, you know, it was one of the biggest mistakes that we ever made and it almost killed our career as Kennedy Fox. And I tell y'all that a lot. KU just wasn't for us. I know a lot of people wonder why we're not making USA Today, and that's because we still have to rebuild our readership on all those platforms again. And it's hard. It's not easy. Things have changed since 2016 and 2017, but I feel like deep down in my heart in 2021, it's gonna be the point where we start making those lists again. And I can't wait. I'm excited. It's gonna happen. Based on our sales records now and how much money we're making, like, I have no doubts that it's gonna happen. Anyway, let me check real quick to make sure I got everything on Instagram. This one from Julie says, why do I always want to be a better author after I've watched one of your YouTube videos? Julie, thank you so much. I just want to say thank you because there are times when I ask myself why I do this. There are times when I'm like, why do I spend my time making YouTube videos? Why do I spend my time editing it? YouTube doesn't pay my bills. I could just cut this out of my life and just write and be okay. Writing pays the bills, not this, not anything else. You know, a lot of times I question myself. I question why I come here, and I question if anybody would even notice if I don't make videos anymore. And that's just me being completely honest. Like, I do have a lot of subscribers, but I'm not the largest account. I probably will never be the largest account, and I know that. YouTube doesn't pay my bills. It probably will never pay my bills. I know that. But it goes back to my why. And the reason why I created this channel was for the author that I was when I first got started. There wasn't forums, there wasn't Facebook groups like there are today. There wasn't a lot of information out there in one place that I could search. And when I get comments like that, it reminds me of why I do this. It's a way for me to be able to give back to the community in what little way that I can. Sometimes I'm just being completely honest. I feel like maybe this isn't valuable for you guys, that maybe I am just completely wasting my time. I'm sure I'm not the only person who's gone through this, but I really do question keeping this going a lot. I'm always like, I should just disappear and see if anybody notices. And I know there are many of you who are like, absolutely, I would notice, but there are other people who are like, she just writes romance, who cares? You know? And so thank you. I guess that's what I'm trying to say is thank you, because that means a lot to me. And I want to be able to inspire people to be better, to make more money, to go after their dreams, to quit their jobs, to have a bunch of money in savings, to publish books that they love, to continue forward with being a full-time author, because there are so many people out there who's like, you can't do that. You can't be a full-time author. Why would you do that? You went to college to do business and you had a corporate job where you made 6 figures and now you're writing. Like, I have naysayers in my life, and there's naysayers on YouTube. There's naysayers everywhere. And, you know, I know the romance authors who watch my videos that know me in real life or know me from Facebook or know me from wherever. I know that they appreciate it. But sometimes, I mean, I'm human. I question everything. And I obviously don't want to waste my time because I could be doing other things, but I also want to be able to give back to people because that's important to me. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I'm so glad that you're finding this helpful. But that's all the questions, guys. We are moving to the forum next week. I'm super excited about it. You will see me here in my office because outside is crazy with wind. I hope you'll have an amazing, incredible week. You accomplish all your goals and you write all the words, and I'll see you again in my next video. Happy NaNoWriMo and happy November. See y'all Wednesday. Bye, guys.